Hey guys, today I'm going to do a flip through of Zaner Bloser's Word Wisdom. So I have 5th grade and 7th grade that I can share with you today. So in the past, we have used Vocabulary Workshop. We're still using Vocabulary Workshop. I just made a video, which I will link down below, comparing Vocabulary Workshop colored levels to Vocabulary Workshop letter levels. And if you watch that video, then you'll know I needed something else for my 7th grader because we didn't like their letter levels. Now, we have had Word Wisdom in the past. In fact, the first year we started using Vocabulary Workshop, my daughter was 5th grade and I bought her 5th grade of Word Wisdom. And then we also had 5th grade of Vocabulary Workshop, and she was gonna just alternate between the two. She did a week in this and then she did a week in Vocabulary Workshop, and she liked that one better, so we just stuck with that. But I still have 5th grade that I'll use for my son probably next year. And then I went ahead and got grade 7 for my daughter this year because there weren't really a lot of other options that we liked for 7th grade vocabulary. So I'm gonna show you a little bit about these. I really like Word Wisdom, but I also really like Vocabulary Workshop. So this is going to be our option for when my kids are done with Vocabulary Workshop. So for my 7th grader, she'll use this next year. My current, will be starting 4th grade. He will use this when he's doing 5th grade Vocabulary Workshop for his 4th grade year. When he finishes that, then he'll move into the Zaner Bloser Word Wisdom as well. All right, clear as mud, hopefully. So let me show you a little bit about this. So the middle school levels, the grade 6, 7, and 8, I believe Word Wisdom only goes up to grade 8, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. But the 6th, 7th, and 8 have not been updated as recently as the elementary levels. So the elementary, like this one, no, I can't remember. I want to say 2017 was when it was updated last. Yes, 2017. But the middle school levels have not been updated. I think the last time this one was updated was 2005. So just so you know if that is of concern to you. But I bought the workbook new from Rainbow Resource, and I bought the teacher edition used on eBay because it was a lot cheaper. One thing I did learn though, if you buy the workbook from Rainbow Resource and then you decide you want the teacher guide, you can't buy the teacher guide separately. You would have to buy a bundle. So keep that in mind, that once you buy this workbook separately, you can't buy the teacher manual separately from Rainbow Resource. They only come either workbook alone or together as a bundle. So, all right, do you need the teacher's edition? No, but I decided to make my life easier this year. I was going to get it mostly for the answer key. It's a lot quicker for me to check their work if I can just look at an answer key rather than having to essentially do the work myself. So that's why I got teacher keys for this year. But anyway, let me show you inside this 7th grade version. So we have, let's see, 9 units, and each unit has like 3 lessons and then a review. So 4 parts in each unit. So that's 36 weeks. And let's take a look at part 1, unit 1, part 1. So each unit has like an overarching theme. So unit 1 is context clues, or part 1 of unit 1. Part 2 is Greek and Latin roots. Part 3 is reference skills. And then part 4 is always the review. So like Vocabulary Workshop, there's always an article that they're reading or some type of writing that they're reading. This one happens to be about the life cycle. And there are, I believe, 10 vocabulary words. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah. So there's 10 words in each one. Vocabulary Workshop in their color levels have 12 words, and in their letter levels, they have 20 words. So this has 10, which I like. All 10 words are used in the writing sample. And then the very first activity, regardless of this theme, the very first activity in each part is a context clues strategy. So they are being kind of guided through how to use context clues to find the meaning of a word. And then here on this page, you're practicing that strategy with these 2 words. And then here you're doing the same process with the other 7 words on your own. Now here where you have to write what the dictionary says, they do give you a dictionary in the back of all the words in this book. So that's really nice. I will likely take this out so that my kids don't have to flip back and forth. But that's helpful that they're right there for you. And that can make this less overwhelming maybe for a child who's new to using the dictionary, to not have to go to a big thick dictionary. They can just use a smaller one and they know the word's going to be there. All right, the next page is process the meaning. So they are choosing a vocabulary word that relates to each of the words here. Apply what you've learned, and then you're on to the next part. So you can see the theme of the next one is Latin and Greek roots. They're using this article about science, but the first activity is still practicing context clues. But then when you get into the unlock the meaning, here's where you're looking at Greek and Latin roots. But the process, the meanings, and apply what you've learned are the same, it seems like, in every part. So here's the next one. We have an article about saving the earth. The focus is reference skills, but you're still starting with that context clue strategy. But then here you have an activity where you're using guide words in a dictionary. So that's how this relates reference skills to the unit. And then process the meaning and apply what you've learned are the same types of activities. Then your last part of the unit is review, and you are reviewing all 30 words that you did in the first 3 parts. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 activities with all the words that you've spent the last 3 weeks learning. And then you move on to unit 2, and it flows in the exact same way. We have an article about money mistakes. The focus is on context clues. You go through the strategy. You practice with 2 words, then you work with the rest. Then you process the meanings, apply what you've learned, and you're on to part 2. Latin roots, but again, we practice with context clues first. Then we go into the roots part of the lesson, process the meanings, apply what you've learned. You're on to part 3, which is reference skills. But again, you start with context clues. And then here you're talking about encyclopedias. That's your reference skill. And then the rest is the same. And then you, I believe, was that? Yeah, then you go to a review. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages with the review. And then you're on to unit 3. So that's how that looks. The teacher edition comes with a CD-ROM. I don't think any of my laptops have a CD drive, so I have not looked at this yet. But it says there are printable games and activities. For each unit, there will be a complete set of cut-apart cards for vocabulary words, roots, prefixes, and definitions, analogies and word ladders to be solved with unit words, and a graphic organizer for working with the unit words. So I would like to take a look at this CD-ROM and see if any of what's on there would be useful to me. So I think that's a nice addition. I just wish my computers had a CD drive. So, but that's my problem, not yours. All right, so let's take a look here. Gives you the scope and sequence of all the levels. And let's see. This is level G. Yeah, so it does only go to 8th grade, which would be level H. All right, So here you see what your students page looks like. It gives you a unit overview, some help in guiding your students, and how to kind of lay out the week, it looks like. Yeah, you've got your objective. So just a little help if you want to do an actual lesson, in addition to having your student work through the workbook. If you want to do some additional work, that would help. It looks like there's little bits on connecting it to like your language arts. Just little tidbits of information in addition to the actual lesson and the schedule for the week. And most importantly for me, it just has the answers, which just makes me checking my kids' work much quicker and easier for me. And I am all for that. Could I easily kind of go through and check their work without this? Yes. Well, could I check it? Would it be super easy and fast? No. So this frees up parts of my brain for other things throughout my day, which is much needed. So that is what 7th grade word wisdom looks like. Now let's come back and look at 5th grade. So it's a very similar setup. But this one does have more color. So let's see. Unit 1 has 3 lessons and then a review lesson and practice test. That's how all of the units are set up. It also has a dictionary in the back. And it also has word lists by unit. All right, so lesson 1, you have this, the focus is context clues. You have this article about Aunt Edna's kitchen. Again, we have the context clues strategy. And that context clues is the theme of this lesson. So your activities here are related to context clues. This is just like in the 7th grade one. And we have 10 words also that we're working with. Then we go into processing the meanings, apply what you've learned, and you're into the next lesson, which is Latin roots. But again, after your article, you still start with context clues. Then your activities here are focused more on roots. And then process the meanings, apply what you've learned. Reference skills is the focus for lesson 3. But again, you start with context clues. Then you go into using your reference skills. This one's about the dictionary and how to use the dictionary. Process the meanings, apply what you've learned. And then you get into your unit review, which takes the words from the first 3 lessons. And you have 1, 2, 3 activities with those. So this is a little different than the other 7th grade one. 3 activities, and then you have a practice test. Then you move into unit 2, which is set up exactly the same way. If you're having trouble reading any of this, if it's a little blurry, you can click the little like gear button by the video and just switch it to HD, and you should be able, this stuff should come into focus a little bit better for you. Ooh, this will be a good one for this year, for our theme. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful there. Let's take a look at the teacher guide. I don't like that they made it this landscape layout, but that's okay. So this one is set up pretty much exactly like the other one. You have your answers. You have teaching tips on the side. It just tells you about introducing the unit theme, pre-reading the discussion questions, e-resources. I'm not sure. I have never tried to use these, so I don't know if anyone can get those or if this would have had to have been purchased like through Zaner Bloser. I'm not sure. It says there is a word wisdom app. I will check that out and see. Let's see. Let's go try to find that right now and see what it's like. So let's see. I don't see it, so maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Zaner, Bloser. No. Oh, the app is available for iPads and Android tablets. What's the difference? I don't know. But at any rate, it says it's here. I don't know. You could check that out. But so there are teaching tips. I don't see like a possible schedule. This one seems to have less help here. Go to the Word Wisdom app. Let's see what's in the back here. So it looks like there are some post tests and pre-tests in the back. I don't ever use these, or have not ever. I don't know if I will. Let's take a look back here at this one and see what else was back here in this one. Okay, this also has pre-tests and post-tests in the back, the 7th grade one. All right, so that's pretty much, there are some additional activities back here. It's like some extension activities and things like that. So that's helpful. I don't know if we'll use those or not, but it's good to know they're there. So other than not knowing about the app, I don't have my iPad here to check and see if I can get it on my iPad, but I would think if you could get it on an iPad, you could get it on an iPhone, but who knows? Sometimes I feel like such a Luddite when it comes to technology. So anyway, that's what the teacher manual looks like. This is what the grade 5 student workbook looks like for 5th grade. And then here you saw 7th grade. So hopefully that was helpful to you. If you guys have any questions, just let me know down below and I would love to answer them for you.